Hello, everybody. This is the cast at Glocker. This is Matt Green. He's our tech guy this evening. We also have help with the tech. With Josh Berchauskas is here, and I'm glad he was here because we had something weird just happen, and that's why we're a little late starting today. But Matt Green, Jeff Frederick, we're the cast at Glocker, and today we are at the State Theater in Boyertown, the historic State Theater, and we have two guests with us. We have Charles Haddad. He's the board president, correct?
President of the board, that's
Yeah,
correct.
president of the board. I said it wrong. And Shannon Anthony, which is
Correct.
the manager here.
Yes.
Yeah. So welcome to the cast at Glocker, and thank you for having us here today.
Welcome to the State Theater.
All
Thanks for
right.
coming.
Excellent, excellent. So I think the first thing I want to do is ask you about a little history of this building, because this is a very historic building, built in 1912, as it says, on the building. If you ever drive past the State Theater in Boyertown, you probably you can't miss it. And so 1912 is a long time ago. We're talking over 100 years. Can you give us a little history on the State Theater?
I can. In 1912, four businessmen from Boyertown, decided to rebuild a theater in Boyertown because we had the Opera House fire 4 years previously.
Right,
And
which
they
which
felt
is
there
today's the anniversary of
Today
that.
is the
correct.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they felt there ought to be some kind of theater in Boyertown. And many people thought it was too close to that tragic fire to build a theater in Boyertown, but they went ahead and did it. And they built the theater, and at that time it seated 400 people in the theater.
Okay.
And
Quick question: how many does it seat now?
Shannon, you can answer that.
215.
Okay, they must have been tight seats then.
Tight seat or smaller people, I don't
Yeah,
know.
right.
Maybe
anyway,
Americans are just wider.
It changed seating over the years, and I think it's been this way for the last 20, 25 years, probably, Shannon, hasn't it?
When I was a kid, I remember there being different aisles.
Yes.
And so
It's a different configuration.
a different configuration. Yeah.
Interestingly, one of the original men who was the founder was a George Unger, and there are still Unger family members in Boyertown. And when we had the dedication, we had a granddaughter of George Unger, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren of George Unger here for
Wow.
that dedication in 2016.
That's really cool. And that's one of the greatest things about Boyertown. I mean, there's a lot of names that have been here from generation to generation to generation, and you see that a lot. If you look at old buildings with names on it, or just look back in history, you'll recognize those same names around here. So they built this building, 1912. People were kind of against it at the time.
They weren't against it from the standpoint they would not come out to it. They were questioning, why would you build a theater so close to the time that we had that tragic fire?
Which was, I mean,
4
an
years prior to
amazingly
that.
tragic event.
Yes.
So.
And it originally was not a movie theater, but rather it was for live performances.
Okay.
It was not until probably 3 or 4 years after opening that the movies came on, and they were, of course, silent movies at that time.
Which
And,
we almost were today. We were
yes.
almost a silent
We're
movie
almost
today.
a silent movie.
Yes, we
Yeah.
were. Glad we aren't. It was not until 1930 that sound came on. And the movie at that time was, I think, 5 cents for
It was
children
5 cents. We were.
and 10
yeah.
cents for adults. And they originally did not sell popcorn or soda. Leading it to history, they only had a candy bar.
Okay.
And in fact, when it opened, they didn't even serve anything at all. Not until about 1934, when George Klein came on the building, that he installed a candy machine.
Okay.
And later on had the concession stand.
Right. And George Klein, he owned it for a while, correct?
He did, from 1934, I believe, until 1956.
Yeah.
And there were the Klein family. We still have the 5th generation of a Klein family member here at the State Theater.
Okay.
Shannon, perhaps you can speak to Adrian.
Adrienne is actually a house manager here, so you'll see her a few nights a week. She runs the movies. Her son, who is now in college, but her son works here during the Christmas break and summer breaks. So it's a family affair. She was the manager. She helped her dad with the theater and her grandfather.
Wow.
So she was the manager at one point, I think in the 80s.
Okay.
So now she's back again
Yeah, yeah.
as a house manager.
George Klein was probably the one party who transformed the theater into a movie house.
Yeah.
Originally, the design was a Spanish-type design, and it was George Klein that put the marquee out in the front
Okay.
to make it look more like the movie houses of today and that
Era. Right.
And also did a lot of renovations inside and even on the walls, getting the paintings. And Shannon, you know more about the paintings than I do.
So the murals you're talking
Murals.
about,
The
right?
murals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake is more of an expert in the murals than I am, but I know that they were put on in the 50s.
I think they were actually painted in Depression days. They would have, instead of the people working on the highways and streets, they also hired painters and artists. And in Philadelphia, a group did the paintings for the walls.
Okay.
And that way they kept them employed in their.
Is
in
that the
their
exterior
artists.
wall as well? Because there's a big mural on the outside.
The mural on the outside was later. That was in the. In fact, I have notes on that. I think it was in 2005.
Okay. Oh, really? It was that
it was-
recent?
Yes, that was painted in 2005. A artist did several of them in Boyertown. In fact, a lot of the students worked on that also. It depicts Boyertown in various ways: the industry, the farming,
Okay.
the commercial, and the retail.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about what's going on tonight, because people still kind of have some time to get over here to the State Theater.
That's a
So
very good point, Matt. I
you're
should have brought that up
watching-
first.
It's all right, man.
Yeah.
If you're watching, you can come down. The movie theater is open tonight. The movie starts at 7. The movie is
Wonder Woman, 1984.
1984.
So that's a first-run movie. You guys get first-run movies in
We
here.
do.
And also, tonight's sponsorship, the movie is sponsored by Glocker Realty. So actually, the snacks are sponsored by
snacks,
Glocker
the
Realty.
snacks, yeah.
That's what I should say.
Right.
So with your ticket, you get a free small popcorn.
Nope.
And
Any size.
Any size
Any size. Blow it up. Big.
Nice. So you get any size popcorn and a drink
And a drink.
with
Yep.
your ticket, courtesy of Glocker Realty and Insurance tonight at the movie, which starts at 7.
7.
Now,
So you got plenty of time to come
plenty
come
of
down. Yeah.
time. I believe the address here is what, 61?
61 North Reading Avenue.
61 North Reading Avenue in the lovely borough of Boyertown, 19512. Plug that into your GPS, get your code on, grab your device, and listen to the show on your way over here to the show.
Yeah, they'll learn about the historic State Theater, and then they come watch the show, get some popcorn and drink on us. I mean,
What could be better?
you can bring your whole family and say, hey, kids, get whatever you want tonight.
We're
It's on us.
splurging. Dinner is popcorn. At the
Right,
movies.
right. Get whatever you want, popcorn and drink-wise, but that's it.
And
Now listen-
you might add that we are staying safe also. We have people spaced in the theater so that they're sitting not side by side, unless you're a family member.
And that's a good point, Charles.
And-
That's a very good point.
And besides that, we have the theater is clean. Shannon can speak to that better than I can.
We've actually we opened the theater back up again at the end of June,
Okay.
and had to shut down a few weeks ago for 3 weeks. But we've been open since the end of June, showing. Now there's no first runs, technically, except
Right,
Wonder
right.
Woman. So we've been doing classic movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and
Right,
The Goonies,
Yeah,
things
all
like
the
that.
great
All the
ones.
good
I-
80s movies.
Every week I was like, man, they just keep on getting the best movies.
Yeah. So,
replay, yeah.
So when we opened, we did it safely. We encourage 6 feet distance between all of our patrons. We actually made those barriers. We don't have people touching anything.
Right.
Took away, everything that we could do to
make
make
it
sure
safe.
that they were safe. We even have a UV light that we scan money with, and so when you give us money, we'll give you clean money back.
Okay.
I mean, besides the limited capacity that they have right now, they also, I think you might have mentioned it, but definitely want to drill into the people at home that every other aisle is blocked off. So there's no way that you're going to have someone sitting behind you breathing on you or anything. You got a nice
Right.
spacing between that.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yep.
And then also, I guess there's some requirements that you have to have food, right? So you kind of have like a limit, just a limited menu, enough stuff just to get you past the regulation.
That's
right?
for the bar.
The bar.
The bar.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about the bar.
Let's
then,
talk
right?
about the bar.
Let's talk about the bar.
I'm enjoying the bar right now.
Shannon, go ahead.
So we do have a liquor license. It's a performing art liquor license.
Okay.
We have opened our bar during our shows. We have chimichangas and corn dogs that we serve people when they
Right,
want to
right.
buy a drink, and we actually serve them in their seat. So we're following all
Now, who
All
does
the-
the serving?
of the house managers
Okay.
are certified with ramp training,
Okay.
and anyone that serves in the bar is ramp
Is
trained.
trained. Right.
Yes.
Now, what about our buddy, Chopper?
Chopper.
Is
Chopper's in the house
Chopper's
tonight, by the
rocking
way.
the bar?
Chopper is actually our house manager tonight.
Okay.
So it's Chopper's movie.
Chopper.
He's in charge.
Uh-huh.
Typically Friday and Saturday night we have our own bartender,
Mm-hmm.
but tonight Chopper's kind of taking over everything.
Taking the helm.
Right.
Right. You're
Right.
in
I know he has a bit of experience doing that, so everybody's in good hands.
good
here with
hands
Chopper.
with Chopper.
They
Now,
wear many hats when they serve here. and
Yeah.
work here.
many, many roles. He's a jack of all trade, master of them all.
Oh,
How about
nice!
that?
I like that. I like that.
So look here, I put up the slideshow, right? So you're going to see the advertisement for the free popcorn. Right after that, you're going to see Choppa with his lovely smiling face. Choppa. Now in that picture, it looks like Chopper's holding up an award. What do you know? What award that was that you were holding up?
Yes, Chopper is our volunteer of the year. for-
Chopper, if you move right over behind her, you'll be on
2019.
camera. There's Choppa.
There he is.
Chopper received our Volunteer of the Year award because he is instrumental in helping us with one of our biggest fundraisers, which is The Right Price, which is advertising the shirt tonight for our game show. Chopper is instrumental in making that event happen, even more so this year because we had to take it on the road.
Is a little trickier, right?
It was.
Yeah.
We usually have it in the theater. This year, we had to adjust the event for an outside performance. It was fantastic. We actually made more this year than any other year.
Wow! How about that?
So it was.
That's awesome.
And at Christmas time, we have a dance studio do their standard
Nutcracker.
Nutcracker Suite. Yes, Nutcracker.
Mm-hmm.
This year they could not do it, unfortunately, and they were disappointed.
Yeah.
So we are a community theater, and if there are any groups out there that want to use a theater on special occasions, please contact Shannon, and we can make arrangements for you. And beyond that, we can speak about the birthday parties we have.
Yeah.
too.
I know you kind of rent out the building for other events and whatnot. So.
And I have a slide up there showing that about the birthdays. The slide's a little bit small, so you talking about it will fill people in on what they can do as far as the birthday rental.
So birthday parties, usually a Saturday or Sunday in between our movies, either in the morning or in the afternoon in between the matinee and the evening show. And, the family comes out. We give everyone a popcorn and a soda, and they can watch their favorite movie. And
Which is a great thing, yeah.
have some And then we set up tables in the pit area, and they sing happy birthday and open their presents, and it's
That's a really cool way to make that person's birthday special.
Right.
So yeah.
And then we can put their name up on the marquee, and
Right.
And
that's another thing you've been doing, right? You're
We
renting
have
out the
been.
marquee where people can put special occasions on the marquee.
Yep. Yep. The marquee rentals. You can, we had one up there the other day. I didn't really know what it meant. It said, "Via you the best," but Via knew what it meant.
That's what
so.
somebody wanted, right?
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
somebody
I'm going to
wanted
put up
say.
Matt Green, you the best.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
And,
sure.
I'm
Anytime.
trying, man. I feel like we're struggling a little bit, and I just want to let people know. Thanks for bearing with us because we came back on and then it dropped off. I'm having some computer and some software problems. I've troubleshot it as best I can, so we are back on the air. We do have people watching. Thanks for bearing with us. There aren't any problems with the equipment here at State Theater.
No,
all right?
definitely not.
I want to make that crystal clear. If you're on your way down here or coming down here, everything at State Theater is running correctly. The stream that you are watching, the live stream, belongs to me, Matt Green, at Glocker Real Estate. I am having problems with the live stream equipment. I just want to make
Yeah.
that crystal
And
clear.
remember, free popcorn and drinks tonight, any size.
Any size
Any
popcorn.
size. And
So-
and Wonder Woman 1984 is playing.
That's right. Everybody's safe and social distance. They're taking all kinds of precautions to protect people's health and safety here at the
Yep.
state. They're following all the recommended guidelines from the Department of Health. So you should feel comfortable coming down here.
Absolutely.
Everybody's wearing masks. Everybody's doing their part. And you get to meet Chopper.
Chopper. Chopper's running the show tonight. And you might have heard us talk about Chopper before.
A couple of times or two.
Yeah.
I will say this, Chopper was also instrumental in getting us to come, although he might not want us back. But he came into the show the one day after one of the episodes.
He did.
And popped into the office and sat down and started telling us all the great stuff that the State Theater was
Yes,
going.
yeah.
And he was like, do you think we can get the State Theater on the cast at Glocker? Chopper's like, no problem. He made it happen.
I'll make it happen. I got to ask you about. So, what I'm reading here is there's gaming rentals. I don't understand that one.
So our screen acts like a giant television.
Yeah.
So you can plug in your Xbox
Oh.
or your laptop, or we have a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And we have our own Nintendo Switch that we have Mario Kart. So 4 people can play Mario Kart on screen,
Oh, that's awesome.
and it's just larger than life.
Yeah.
So
I have some friends that I think would enjoy that. Eric Guest, if you're watching, I'm specifically talking about you. He loves gaming and
so any gaming system that has a
connection.
connection,
Yeah.
we
It's
can.
a good
we
point.
can-
The birthday parties and the games are not just for children.
Right.
They're not.
We've had husbands treat their wives to a birthday, although they don't always tell them what year they were born. But they
Right.
do have a birthday party here for them, and any event at all can be held here at the State Theater.
That's awesome. That's great. An escape room? I don't. I mean, I know what an escape room is, but I never heard about this. Are you doing an escape room here now?
We do. I'm a big fan of escape rooms.
Yeah, I have never done it, but I've been wanting to. I don't know why I haven't gotten around to do it yet, but
So this is a little different than the normal escape room. It's a pop-up escape room. So we turn the entire theater into an escape room. So you have to find clues to work your way out of the theater.
Okay.
And the basis of it is you're locked in the theater. You have 1 hour to escape. If you don't escape the theater, you have to watch Groundhog Day over and over and over again, forever. So we put up. It's actually an interactive escape room. So we're in concessions, and you have to like interact with us, ask certain questions, and
so it's like a murder mysteries meets escape room type thing. Is that what you
no,
call?
I mean,
No.
It's clues like you would find in an escape room. You have to, look at other things to figure out what it's actually trying to tell you.
Right.
It might lead you to a clue, and then you might get another clue from there and go find another puzzle to, to work your way out of. So we use the theater as the room, but there's hints and clues and
I gotcha.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
If you see a blurry-eyed person walking around in the theater, they're still trying to get out from last week.
You come in and all the
They might
popcorn's
have
gone.
had too many beers and chimichangas.
Yeah.
Chimichangas. I can't even say that. Chimichangas. Yeah, too. I don't know.
and our escape room is very family friendly too. We've had a class of 11-year-olds come in and do it, and they were super smart, smarter than some adults that have done
That
it.
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but it was it's a good time.
Okay. And you have a membership here?
We have
And-
memberships, yes.
And how's that work?
So we either have a family membership or an individual membership. Family membership, you sign up for $50 and you get 4 free tickets. You get free sodas, you get free popcorns, and you get a coupon book, so you can use them at any point. They never
Okay.
expire. Free refills, things like that.
And what does the membership run?
It's $50 for a family
Okay.
or $25 for an individual.
That seems very reasonable.
And then if you ever wanted to have a theater rental, you get 10% off the theater rental, which saves
Yeah. That's
a lot of
great.
money.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can also, if someone wanted to, they could donate to the theater as well, correct?
That is correct. Yes, we just sent out an annual fundraising drive
Okay.
the end of November.
Theater
And-
is supported by the community. In fact, when we decided to become a nonprofit, we had to raise $100,000 in order to convert the theater to the digital projection and wraparound sound system.
Which is the only way you can play movies now, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have the reel-to-reel anymore.
Right.
And what's important for the State Theater to be in Boyertown is that we're part of the history of Boyertown.
Right.
And in this particular block here, we have the St. John's Church, we have the State Theater, we have the bank, we have commercial, we have restaurants. And all over Boyertown, we're part of the main street of Boyertown. And it's important that Boyertown is the center for our school district, because Boyertown is only 4,000 population, but our school district is 35,000 population.
Right.
And the borough of Boyertown is the only center of mass in their school district. So we try to have Boyertown be the center for our school district with the YMCA, the multi-service, our library. So we are the center for our district. And what's also important is that we're only a single screen movie house and we only seat 200 people. But in 2018, we had 20,000 people come to the State Theater. In 2019, we had 23,000 people come to the State Theater. That's 23,000 people that didn't have to leave Boyertown to have entertainment, to have a night out or a day out.
Right. Yeah.
And also, it not only supports the State Theater, but supports our entire community. by
Sure. Sure. Because a lot of times when you come out to the movie, you go to the movie, and then maybe you go out to dinner afterwards or something like that. And if you're going to come out here, you might as well stay in town. There's plenty to do in town. In
There
Boyertown.
is.
Yeah.
Now I have another show that we cover Pottstown, and it's called Porchcast Pottstown. And we were just live at the Steel River Playhouse. Now, some folks on their stream might see that come up in the title. Again, that has to do with our software. Tonight we're at the State, but a little fact that I did learn when I was at Steel River in Pottstown was that the presence of a theater in your downtown area, of performing arts or theater, can create an additional 20,000 trips into that area.
Right.
Just the presence of the theater alone is bringing up to an additional 20,000 people into your community. That, just like you're saying, Jeff, they're gonna get hungry, they're gonna get thirsty, they're gonna go out for something to eat, they're gonna have to fill up
They
their
might
gas
just
tank.
take a walk down Main Street and see what shops are available.
See what's going on.
Yep.
They'll get to meet Choppa.
Yeah.
And so it's increasing the travel, and it's increasing the exposure, not just of the state, but of the other businesses and the other restaurants and the other things that are going on within the community. So it can really be an anchor. And, I know for a fact when I was a kid, I still remember coming up here to go to the movies
Absolutely.
at the State
So do
Theater,
I.
right?
So do I, yeah.
I can name, we were just talking about it the other day. I'm almost 100% positive that I saw Star Wars when it first came out at State Theater in Boyertown.
Which is huge.
There's a whole list of other shows that I've seen up here.
I think I saw Jungle Book. I mean, that's the one that I know I saw Jungle Book here, but I don't know if that's the first one I saw here. Or
It's the one that really sticks out
it's the
in
one
your
that
head.
sticks out, yeah. I think it was a birthday party.
And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about too, and I wanted to bring up, and it's an organization that we've talked about before, and we had Jillian McGee on the show previously. She's the Main Street manager for Boyertown, and that's Building a Better Boyertown. I met Charles and Shannon through Building a Better Boyertown for the short period of time that I was on that board. And do you guys want to talk about some of the involvement and some of the other things that you do in order to team up with other businesses and nonprofits through Building a Better Boyertown? I know, Charles, if my memory serves me correctly, you were instrumental in founding Building a Better Boyertown.
I was one of the charter members, along with other current people in Boyertown, for the first Main Street when we became a state Main Street community for Boyertown. It gave us the opportunity to get funding through the state, and in fact, state being not the State Theater, but rather
the
state of Pennsylvania,
right.
I have to clarify that. In fact, we were able to raise $1 million through grants to renovate and do a lot of revitalization on our Main Street. The Victorian lights you see, the new brick ribbon walkways, the trees and the planters, the gateways to the parking lot, all those were done through Building a Better Boyertown. And in fact, the way I became involved in the State Theater was Adrienne Blank, our our Main Street manager at that time, called a meeting to see if we could revitalize and save the State Theater. And they needed a lawyer who would do some volunteer work for them. So my hand went up and has not come down.
So you're a lawyer.
Since the time I was there.
Okay.
And it's become and through that contacted with the Building a Better Boyertown, I found Shannon.
Okay.
And Shannon's been the real anchor and the real person to make the State Theater so successful that it is today.
Right.
So, Shannon, have you been here since the beginning? Since the
Actually, Charles, I'm on the Building a Better Boyertown board with Charles, and when the brick ribbon sidewalks were done, Charles was the president at that point of Building a Better Boyertown. So I've worked with Charles. I've been on that board for about 13 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time. And Charles knows that I can't say no.
He had an easy mark.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know the perfect person.
Yes. So when Charles found the owner, Steve McGuire, and they formed this, well, I think it was an hour-long conversation that Charles convinced Steve to buy and renovate the theater, so Steve can't say no to him either. After that agreement was formed, Charles called and asked if I would be on the board of the State Theater, but then that kind of went from there.
Yeah. Charles, I feel like in the future I'm going to get a call from you, and I'm going to not be able to say no to whatever you ask.
Absolutely. I leave your number, please, for me to call you. But I think we'll spend a few moments to talk about Steve McGuire.
Yeah.
It was quite an accident where I came across Steve, and I learned that he wanted to do something for Boyertown because in 1941, his grandmother bought, he was from the Philadelphia area, his grandmother bought a property in Mount St. Mary area.
Mount Mary Road.
Mount Mary. And Steve would visit his grandmother in the 1940s and 50s and come to the State Theater on a Friday or Saturday night and then go to Bouse's drugstore for a snack after the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Steve was successful in his business of plastic industry, and he wanted to do something for Boyertown because of that memory he had. And based on that, he has a family foundation that bought the theater, renovated the theater, and the arrangement was that we would supply the $100,000 to buy the projector, and we'd run the theater. And for the very high rental of $1 a year for 21 years, we are renting a theater from Steve McGuire
Right.
and the Family Foundation. But for that, we would not have a state theater survive here in Boyertown.
Yeah.
It takes the donors, as Steve, and takes the community in general to support the theater. It's your theater, not our theater. It's your theater, and we appreciate all the help we receive from our community.
And that's true. When you did the fundraising, the community really came together to support
They
the
did.
theater, so, which is great.
And they're
Because I
supporting
think there's
it
a lot
now.
of people with a lot of memories out there
Yes.
of the theater. So
My first date with my wife was here at the State Theater in 1953.
Right.
that's
And we
great.
saw the movie Lily with Jose Ferrer and Leslie Caron.
That's awesome.
Many people I speak to tell me about their first dates at the movie also. So one time we're going to have a special night, Shannon. For
First
all
date
first
night.
daters. at
Yes,
the theater.
yes, I like the idea.
So we're coming down to 7 o'clock, and people are starting to file in to catch the movie. So I just want to invite everybody down. You still got a few minutes to get down to the show. Remember tonight, popcorn and a soda is on Glocker Realty and Insurance.
And get the big one.
Get the big one.
Yeah,
Make
our boss is paying for it.
make sure you get the upgrade on
Yes.
your popcorn
Do not
tonight.
go for the small one.
Courtesy of Glocker Real Estate and Insurance.
And
Jeff,
we've
you
been-
have an event or two that you want to throw out?
Yeah, I know.
Because-
I wanted to give State Theater as much time just because they were so gracious in having us, and then also we had a couple of technical problems. But
so we're going to come back. So for some reason, there's a jinx on going to theaters. Because the first time that we went to Steel River Playhouse
Right.
with Porchcast Pottstown,
Yeah.
we had a lot of problems there, too. We had a problem with the sound at the theater.
Yeah.
Today, we're having a problem with the video
Yeah.
and the audio at the theater. So we're going to come back and make sure that the next time we come back, we're 100% squared away.
we're going to have
And
like 30
give-
people working on this
Yes.
to make sure that there's no flaws.
No problem. But it was great being here. So go ahead, man.
Okay, so what's going down in Boyertown, right? That's the question. Well, I'll tell you what's going down in Boyertown right now, and that's State Theater and Wonder Woman
Woman.
1984.
Yep.
That's important to know. And free popcorn and drinks. But besides that, what I highlighted on my blog that's called What's Going Down in Boyertown, you can find it at jeffknowsboyertown.com. We were at Ridgewood Winery last week
Right.
in Bechtelsville. We got to meet Bill and Tracy Smith, the
Yes.
owners.
Yep.
After that podcast, I went there again and I took a video tour and tasting with Bill Smith, the owner.
Okay.
Asked him a few more questions, tried the wine all on video, and he took us for a tour of the property and kind of said what he was going to be doing. So I'm highlighting that this week. I'm going to have
Okay.
that video. I'm going to write out about a little bit that we learned from that meeting.
Okay.
Let me see what else. Next week, our podcast, the cast of Glocker, Jennifer Reinford is going to be in. She's restoring an historic flour mill
Okay.
in the Boyertown area.
Okay.
So that's going to be interesting to hear about that, especially for historian fans.
Is that the one over there off of Ironstone Drive? The one down at the intersection of the
Yes. Yep.
the
Yep, in Pine Forge area.
Yeah, Pine Forge. It's
Yep.
right at the corner of where the Ironstone meets the Manatawny.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. All right, that's cool.
It's a neat old mill, and she's fixing up. She's going to tell us all about it. We're also meeting with one of the Boyertown students, Alyssa. Let me see what her name
I
is.
can't pronounce her last name, and I'm usually good at that.
Lakabaki. Lakabaki. Sorry,
Talk to
Alyssa.
the poor girl. I would go with Lakobaki.
Lakabaki. We'll
Lakobaki.
go with that.
We'll go with that.
Yeah,
And
we'll
if we-
find out next week.
We'll find out.
But she's doing a very cool thing. She's fundraising. There's some kind of fundraising competition she's doing for school that's going to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which is, absolutely a wonderful thing.
Good deal.
We got Martin Luther King's Day on Monday, which isn't just a day off for work or school. It's also talking about, it's a day for a man that was a positive figure for humanity. So, stop and think for a minute. We can always use positive figures in this world.
Right. And then I think the other part of that, too, is that over the past few years, they've been encouraging people to do some type of community service in some way, shape, or form.
Right. Yeah, that would be the perfect way to celebrate that
You
day.
might want to think about reaching out to Charles Haddad or Shannon here and plug yourself in to be a volunteer at the State Theater.
Yes.
That would be one way to get involved in your community.
That would be a great way. And then you spoke about Jillian McGee building a better Boyertown. She's looking for someone that wants to get involved in the community. She just wants to have a discussion with them. Maybe they have ideas. If they want to get involved, just give her a call or contact her at manager@boyertownpa.org. It's manager@boyertownpa.org. That's Jillian McGee. She's the manager of Building a Better Boyertown, which helps to improve our town.
I saw that email that she sent to us today. They really have like a long list of things that they're trying to get volunteers involved with.
I shortened that long list down to this.
Right. It's a long list, but what I'm really trying to encourage, if you own a business or are part of a business or an organization here in the Boyertown area, get plugged in to Build a Better Boyertown. It is a big network. There are hundreds of members. And if you get involved, your business will get exposure in the community.
Right.
We've been members at Glocker Realty and Insurance, and we certainly get benefit from our membership.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
check them out. They
Yeah.
need help as well.
So that's what's going down in Boyertown. That's my blog. You can see it at jeffknowsboyertown.com. It's got all the events that are going on in and around Boyertown, not just in Boyertown, but around it as well. So check that out.
People are coming in for the movie Wonder Woman 1984. You still got a few minutes to get down here. Come on down, get your free popcorn, get your drink, see a great movie. Courtesy of Glocker Real Estate and Insurance. We're coming up on 7 o'clock. Shannon, thanks for coming out.
Thank you so
Charles,
much.
thanks for coming out.
Well, we actually came out, Matt.
Yeah, what's that?
We
Well,
actually came
They
out.
had to come out of their
They
house.
did
come
have
here.
to come out of their
We
house.
want to
That's
thank
right.
you for
Thanks for
coming
having us. How
Yes.
about that? Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks for
coming.
representing the theater. Thanks for representing Boyertown. I just want to. I know how important Charles Haddad is to this community, so I just want to thank him. And I know that he does a lot of work behind the scenes, and I'm glad that we could hopefully introduce you to some new people in the community and from outside the community. I know for a fact that there's some folks from Pottstown watching, so maybe you will start to get a little more street cred outside of your community.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a ton of people in Pottstown that have been to the State Theater too and enjoyed it as well.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. All right, we've been the cast at Glocker. This is the State Theater. www.boyertownstatetheater.com, 61 North Reading Avenue in the lovely borough of Boyertown, 19512. I'm Matt Green at Glocker Real Estate.
I'm Jeff Frederick at Glocker Real Estate.
This has been the cast at Glocker. We're streaming live to Glocker Realty and Insurance and also YouTube, Glocker Realty and Insurance. If you want to go back and watch any of our episodes or catch something that you might have missed while you were getting logged off.
I don't know how
and
you
logged
would have
back
missed
in,
it.
you can find the past episodes of the cast at Glocker on both of those platforms, Facebook and YouTube. Every Wednesday night at 6
Every
o'clock.
Wednesday night, yes.
Catch us next Wednesday at 6. Thanks for tuning in. And again, thanks for bearing with our technical difficulties tonight. Have a good evening. See you soon.